Music for global change. Creating music that inspires the world. Welcome to the Music for Global Change broadcast. And now here's your hosts, founder and music ambassador Skyler, Jett, with Deborah, Fennella and Tom Bryant.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to start a revolution? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to start a revolution?
Okay. Greetings, namaste. Welcome to the Music for Global Change broadcast. Hello, I'm Deborah Fennella here with the founder, music ambassador Skyler, Jett, and presenter Tom Bryant. Now, we're really excited to welcome our guest this evening, who is multi-talented. He's an Emmy and multi-award winner composer, music arranger, orchestra, and also conductor, and he also plays the saxophone, the wonderful John Altman. Good evening, John. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm fine, thanks.
Johnny, good.
Look at all that. Look at all that hardware behind you. My goodness. Oh my God. That's just some of them, right?
Just some of them, yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow, it's loads there, John. Congratulations.
That's the Wall of Fame. And then you got is that an Emmy? Oh,
It's an Emmy, yeah.
that's an Emmy.
Yeah.
Wow. What's that from?
It's from a movie called RKO 281 about the making of Citizen Kane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
John Malkovich and Leah Schreiber and Melanie Griffith.
Very, very cool.
Now, you've been very, very busy. I've been reading up a lot on your bio as well, and you've worked with so many celebrities, and you've been working with many different advertisements as well. Now, I'd like to ask you, how did your pathway begin, John? Please tell us a little bit how it all started.
I came from a family of musicians. My mother's 4 brothers were all well-known band leaders, and one of them was Britain's #1 jazz clarinet player and arranger, and another one was Britain's #1 jazz trombone player and arranger and conductor.
Really?
Wow.
That's fantastic. Wow.
And my youngest uncle, my older uncle, was a member of Louis Armstrong's British All Stars.
Oh my God.
My younger uncle was the conductor at London Palladium, so he conducted for Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Jack Benny, Danny Kaye, the Marx Brothers, and these are the people I grew up with.
Wow.
Amazing opportunity, and what a wonderful background and a stepping stone in the right direction in the music industry as well, because you also played the saxophone. When did that first start wanting to learn an instrument then, John?
I discovered, first of all, there were stages. I discovered we had a big collection of 78 records, which, of course, in those days,
Wow.
that was all you had,
Yeah.
I played them all, and I loved them all. There was no discrimination about what I was listening to. So I would go from Count Basie to Shostakovich to Elvis Presley to Bill Haley to, every style of music appealed. And I also sort of absorbed arranging and soloing, not really knowing what they were, but I'd hear a Count Basie record and I'd hear a saxophone solo. And as far as I knew, it was part of the song,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So I started playing piano at the age of 7, having lessons, and I started composing immediately.
Wow.
Wow. So would you say that you were sort of born with a natural gift, of composing yourself, because you're a phenomenal composer? As I said, you've worked with so many celebrities. I was looking through the list of everyone that you have been, working with: Sting, Phil Collins, Bob Geldof, Donovan, Major, Rick Astley, The Comet, also Eric Clapton, Van Morrison.
Wow.
So also Titanic and Celine Dion. The list just goes on and on and on. And you've won so many awards, and you've been part of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts and BAFTAs.
The list is,
as I say, and also you work with Joss Stone, Quincy Jones, also the London Symphony Orchestra as well. You've worked with them. So adverts as well you've worked on.
Deborah, look down there by your feet. I think you dropped another name.
Oh, and not forgetting an awesome celebrity that we all know is also another amazing, multi-talented gentleman. Our wonderful Skyler Jett.
Yeah. Oh, I met John at a friend of mine's club called Ciro's, and a buddy of mine from home, Patrick Allen.
Yep.
Patrick Allen introduced me to John, and John was up there blowing like crazy on sax. I said, I want to meet that brother, not knowing we're actually on the same project together, which was a Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did all the period music, so everything.
Yeah, right. Everything on
that
I love that movie. I've watched it so many times, and it's just one of those movies you can watch time and time again. It's an amazing movie, and also so emotional as well, with, like you say, the composition and the music in it. I always cry when I watch it too.
You know what's crazy, John? So Walter Afanasieff, what happened was Will Jennings and James Horner wrote that song.
That's right.
They invited Celine over to the house, and what they had heard was James Cameron really didn't like vocals in his movies, right?
That's right.
So they said, but let's try it on him anyway. So they had Celine sing on the song, and how I got on the song was Celine goes, first after she sang it, they played it for James Cameron. And James Cameron he said, I not only love it, I want to make it the cornerstone of my film. And the crazy thing is, Walter says, man, they're trying to do this movie Titanic again. He said it like that, not knowing this is going to be the biggest movie.
Nobody knew.
Phenomenal.
Right? And the next thing you know, I'm not on the one that's on the film. Celine goes, hey guys, I'm doing my record right now. Do you mind if I put that song on my record? And that's when she called Walter and said, I want backgrounds on mine. Now I'm an Oakland Raiders fan. I'm a football fan, right? And so I told Walter, don't ever call me on Sunday. We're going to have a fight, right? But he calls me up and he says, Skyler, get over here right now. I'm going to pay you triple scale. I said, okay, what's going on? He said, I can't tell you, right? And he gets us all over there, and then he takes us into the control room and tell us that Celine wanted. And this has never happened in the history of music. So the song got to #1 on the charts. Celine's climbed up and got to #2. And then it switched. So the ones with the background took over. So I started getting checks from the Oscars and the American Music Awards, and
nice.
I mean, because friends would call, Skyler, I heard you again. You guys, man, you on the radio. It's crazy, but knowing that you did the period music. Now, when those guys were breaking down, everybody, trying to get off the boat.
Yeah.
What about those guys? What about those guys still playing? He told the band to keep playing.
Well, I'll tell you a story about that. It's absolutely true. I did all my music in London before they filmed.
Oh, wow.
And they just sent me the list of the White Star Line playlist, which was the list of everything they would have played.
Yeah.
By heart. So I went through the list and I went, I have that one, that one, that one, that one. And he said, I want Nearer My God Today, but there were like 5 versions of it, So we had to say, well, we don't know which one they played, if they actually played it at all. So we record these 3. They're filming, and it's Friday night. I go to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 8:30, and my answer phone is showing 10 messages. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, there was nothing when I went to bed. What's going on?
Yeah.
So I started playing them, and it was first 4 or 5, John Landau's assistant, please call me, Mexico 1 2 3 4. The next few, John Landau, call me, Mexico 1 2 3 4. And the last message, James Cameron, call me now.
Oh my God. Oh.
So I phoned the number and the phone's taken to James Cameron. And I said, oh, hi, James. It's John Altman in London. He goes, nearer my God to thee. How's it go? I said, what? How's it go? And I went, nearer my... He said, 1 minute. And then he said, again. I went, nearer. And I could hear an echo.
Yeah.
He's got a megaphone to the phone and it's blaring out over the set. He decided he wanted to film that scene live.
Wow.
Wow.
And none of the band knew the tune and they didn't have any music with them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, makes sense.
I had to sing it to them and they wrote it down as I sang it and they played it. And
That's awesome.
That's amazing. What a great.
Oh my God.
That's how it happens. The only person in the world who knows how it goes.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
None of us had no idea that movie was going to be that big, right?
Not true.
Because it is just phenomenal, isn't it?
Everything happened at the right time, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leonardo was hot and Kate Winslet was hot and the story was hot and Cameron.
Yeah.
Did you ever get invited onto the film set, John, while they were actually doing the filming?
I was actually asked to play Wallace Hartley, the band leader. I can't play violin. I can't act.
You might enjoy it if you gave it a go, John. I think you'd be very good.
No.
I love acting on film set.
Starting another movie, a wonderful film called Little Voice that I did.
Oh, I love Little Voice. That's really good.
I didn't want 2 weeks out of the country. I couldn't afford to be away 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No.
My friend took the part, Jonathan Evans-Jones. He was there for 2 years. No, they did it in Mexico. They built the record in Mexico and they shut the whole thing down.
Incredible.
John stuck there for 2 years. You know, he couldn't go out because they might suddenly decide.
Wow.
That's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd have been gone.
It's worth it.
Oh, I'd have gone absolutely crazy, you know. And in that time, I did Little Voice and then went on to RKO 281, you know. So I did 2 big movies in the time that they were shooting it and putting it together, really.
Are you a composer yourself?
Yeah.
And I mean, from heart, you just write all kind of stuff yourself, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've always had parallel in movies. I've had parallel careers.
Yeah.
Arranging for other people and conducting for other people. And writing my own scores.
Have you ever written any social conscious music?
I'm working on something at the moment which I can't actually talk about because it's
wow.
But it's to do with the environment, shall we say?
Yeah.
I've done all kinds of things in the past, you know, like charity things, you know, but things for sickle cell anemia and the Teenage Cancer Trust, you know, and some wonderful things. I always remember, and I tell people this, I was the musical director for a big gala for sickle cell anemia. And one of my gigs was to play keyboards with Hot Chocolate, who I'd left 11 years before.
Oh, wow.
And it was Emma Brown's last gig with Hot Chocolate.
Yeah.
But I was also playing piano with Labby Sifri.
Okay.
And Labby came in and said, I've just written the song and I think we should do it. So he strummed the guitar and I'm at the piano. I'm not a great pianist at all, you know.
Yeah, they all say that. Yeah.
He starts singing Something Inside So Strong. And I'm writing it down, you know, and I'm playing it. I'm saying, Labby, this is a #1 record. One of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life. I said, I know so.
Yeah.
I was the first person ever to play that, you know, ever to hear it, let alone play it.
What do you think concerning music for global change? Deborah and I and Tom, we're trying to create a genre that's been there for years, but has never been in the forefront as a platform.
Right.
I looked up numbers and I saw that there was 5 billion love songs. There's 192 million social conscious songs, which means there's an audience for it, but we're creating the genre for it, right? And you know, we'd love to have your song as well when you finish it, because we want to show people that we need to write songs about issues and stuff like that that can help, because it's the #1 language in the world.
Comes off, you know, it's in the very early stages, but it will be pretty impressive if it comes off.
Okay.
What we like to do as well, John, don't we, Skyler, is to do music festivals globally.
Yeah.
And we're looking for sponsors at this moment in time as well. But when we do the actual music festivals, we're going to ask people to donate a pair of shoes. So then we can send them out to third world countries and to African adults and children that can't afford to buy shoes, and then give them a discount off of their own ticket, but also ask people to donate musical instruments that they no longer use as well. And then what we can do then is to donate it to children from poor families that can't afford to actually buy the musical instrument, and encourage children then, to start writing social conscious songs and music for global change in order to bring positive change to the planet and to the world and humanity as well.
Yeah.
No, it's a very admirable idea.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of fact, a friend of mine is sending me his saxophone and from America, right? He said, he had a stroke and he can't play anymore, right?
Right.
So I said I'll get in touch with John, because John probably know people,
You've done some phenomenal work, as we've touched on already, John. Is there any, other than obviously the Titanic we've mentioned, are there any other major highlights that you've been proud to be part of or work on?
Well, I mean, the whole thing I've enjoyed, from starting out playing around London with people like Peter Green and Nick Drake, who sort of become legends, and
yeah.
I think, I've been really lucky, because the people I've worked with are still big names today. It's not like, I had one hit in the 1992.
Right.
And you've never heard of me, but, But I mean, we're talking about Barry White and Rod Stewart and Tina Turner and Diana Ross, George Michael, Monty Python. All these things have lasted. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying they've lasted because I was involved, but I'm involved. And
Yeah.
let's say it that way around,
And I mean, now your latest credits there, for example, you arranged and conducted some of the Hans Zimmer score for the latest Bond movie as well, the No Time to Die movie. So you carried right through and still carrying on, still up there, doing what you're doing.
I really hadn't done any arranging for other composers as such for years and years and years. One thing I did do was I transcribed Quincy Jones's music for the Italian film, live orchestra.
I've heard him before.
And they performed it live with the picture, so that was fun.
Yeah.
I'd done Goldeneye, the Bond movie, years ago. So I was part of the fabric of James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Hans rang up through another fine composer friend of ours who'd suggested, well, why don't you ask John to do it, And Hans called up and said, you're not going to want to do this, but do you fancy doing some brass stuff for the new Bond film? I said, yeah, I'd love to.
You touched on, I believe the sequence you did was the tank chase. Is that?
I orchestrated and conducted the whole movie, but the producers and director and all the editors were very nervous that there wasn't a big James Bond brassy moment in the film.
Uh-huh.
So I got a literally Friday morning phone call from Pinewood, can you come down? And I knew what it was going to be. I had it tank chase, and it was. And they said, could you do a sort of classic James Bond score for it? And I said, you don't need to tell me anymore. Just give me the film. I wrote it all day, orchestrated it on Sunday, had it copied on Monday, recorded it on Tuesday, dubbed on Wednesday, and the film came out on Friday.
Oh, my God. I love that. I love that.
Work, that's fantastic.
Very much on the ball, John. You do phenomenal work. You've done a lot of music commercials as well, over 4,000 in total. Now, I'd like to ask you, out of everything that you've done, which has been your favourite of all so far?
That's so difficult, because I've really enjoyed everything that I've done. My biggest love still is going out and playing live, and connecting with an audience. But writing wise, you get a sense of satisfaction. You stand in front of an orchestra, say, and you hear your music, and
wow,
and forever. It's 20 years later, you can listen to it.
That's for forever. Way after we're gone. You know?
Not ephemeral at all. And then if you take something like always look on the bright side of life, and people are still referencing it and listening to it and playing it, and loving it. Basically just written as a throwaway to try and end the movie, and it had a complete life of its own. Marvelous,
Yeah.
And also, John, as a child, who was your inspiration?
I was a lucky one, I think, because I heard my uncle's music and I went, wow, I've got to do that someday. I'm going to write stuff like that. I'm going to play like that. I'm going to be involved in music like that. And they were the main inspirations. But then I listened to everything. And, if I heard Sinatra or if I heard Count Basie or Duke Ellington, they inspired me,
That's right. And a lot of that was swing, right?
Yeah, even going to people like, I've been very lucky to play with the original Comets, who celebrating rock around the clock,
Yeah.
Wrecking Crew, the original Wrecking Crew guys who did every record imaginable. I got to play with Little Richard. I got to play with, my jazz heroes, my rock and roll.
Yeah.
So how lucky is that?
What a life, man.
You've had a wonderful life, John, haven't you? So have you got any thoughts or plans to write a book in the future about your wonderful journey?
It comes out February 21st. I'm glad.
Does it? Wow, fantastic. Congratulations. Can't wait to read it, John.
What's it called, John?
Hidden Man, My Many Musical Lives.
Yeah.
It's published by Equinox Books, and I've already got terrific reviews in Record Collector and the Sunday Express. And I have testimonials in the book from Quincy Jones, Hans Zimmer, Jeff Goldblum, Terry Gilliam, Jim Carter from Downton Abbey, Joss Stone, and John Batiste.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh my God. We're so blessed to have you, man. I mean,
we certainly are.
Getting back to music for global change, hopefully it's something that you can endorse for us, because we're going after people that write lyrical content. And it could be any kind of instrumentation, but lyrical content that heals, educates, and solve problems. My thing is, I've always wanted to do festivals where I can go find these amazing artists around the world that do this kind of music. Like I did a duet with a brother from Ghana, and he's singing in the language of Twi.
Right.
So there's three different elements going on the song, and
it's exactly how I came into things, because of having that wide background.
Yeah.
You will find common languages with people who didn't even speak your own language, and I would be playing in Spain with somebody who didn't speak any English at all, and we'd communicate through music.
Yes. I did a record in Portugal, and when I got to the studio, there was like 12 musicians there. And so my buddy, he's a bass saxophone player too. He goes, Skyler, can you write some lyrics to this? And I said, I don't know, turn it up. And they go, oh, that's the time. It. I'm just I'll just tell you to turn it up, right? But I would say 40% of the musicians on that song couldn't speak English. There's so much talent there in Portugal. I mean, all the people there, all the musicians play 3 and 4 instruments and sing, right? Yeah. My thing was to get on this side and introduce musicians from here to Americans and maybe collaborate, because we got Zoom, we got Skype, and you can write just like this. I've done it, over 30 songs like this, right?
I had a band in Shanghai. Everybody there was from somewhere, from somewhere else.
Right.
I think there were 2 Chinese in the band, but the rest were from Mauritius, from LA, from New York, from France, from Australia. It was an incredible, and we're all playing music together. It's our language.
Oh, yes. It's lovely. So many different cultures coming together as well, isn't it?
So, like I said, an endorsement from you, I mean, like you was talking about Quincy, an endorsement from you for Music for Global Change is going to be huge for us. And especially that you're doing this song about the environment. What's your plans for the song? Is it for a film? What's it for?
very early, it's for a foundation. It's very, very early days. You know, I mean, I can't really say much more about it. It's a global foundation. It's not quite understood what it does.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of work it does, the recognition is not equal to the work it does.
Right.
Okay.
So it's trying to redress that balance.
That's right.
We're in those early stages of trying to put something together that will do that.
How are you going to promote it?
Well, they will.
They'll promote it.
Yeah, they're a huge worldwide foundation. So,
oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I'll keep you updated as and when things happen.
Yeah.
Please do.
So many of these things, you know, they never get beyond the talking point, as you know.
I know, yeah.
You get all worked up about them, and you have. I did the thing with Sony years ago, and we actually booked the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra to do it, and it's sat on the shelf ever since. You know,
when we was doing some of the films back home, we would do it at George Lucas's place.
Oh, yes, I know it well.
Yes.
I'd like to introduce now to our next guest on Music for Global Change, the talented singer-songwriters from Les Femmes Fatales, Sakai and Nikita. Welcome to Music for Global Change. How are you both this evening?
Thank you.
Great.
Great. Thank you. How are you?
So
Hi,
happy to
thank
be
you for having me on
here.
the show.
Thank you so much. We're so excited. And
we're so good to have you on the show.
thank you.
John, these are two of my dearest friends I've known. We've done so many records together, right? And Sakai and Nikita, you might have heard this producer, Narda Michael Walden, right?
Michael, yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, we used to be the background singers for Narda Michael Walden, so we used to do all of his backgrounds together. But now they're traveling and performing and touring with the rock band Train.
Somebody mentioned them like 2 days ago. I mean, it's really bizarre. I it was.
Yeah, they're huge, man. They pack stadiums all over the place, and they've been touring with those guys, and we want to bring them up now. John he was the conductor for the Titanic.
Wow. Okay.
And the movie out right now, James Bond.
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die. You know that movie?
Great movie. I saw it. Great.
Well, he did the horns. He did all the. Yeah, this is great.
Oh.
I wanted you guys to meet.
I'd love to talk to you actually about your latest song, which is called Is That Enough? That you also partnered up with a writer called Dark Side. Now, you actually teamed together during the pandemic as well. Now, please tell us a little bit how it all sort of came together and, you know, what sort of started the sort of first steps of the song and why you wanted to write this song during the pandemic to wake people up consciously.
Well, let me just say this. It wasn't a song that was planned. At all. It was, I was just happened to be at home during the height of the pandemic, watching the news, you know, CNN, and just, you know, frustrated watching, you know, what was going on in the hospitals, people, you know, the nurses, all the nurses and doctors, stressed out people, not really getting it, like believing it, and, you know, people dying, and it was just horrific. And I just remember walking from one room to the other and just stopped in my tracks, and the word just came out of me, you know, just out of nowhere. Yes. You know, it's not enough. It's not enough to live. It's not enough to die, with the melody. Right. And I was like, okay. And I stood there and I said it over and over. And I went back and sat down and started writing it. Before I knew it, I had a verse, you know, and I got excited and I called Sakai and I let her hear what I had wrote. I said, we got to finish this together. And her and I, you know, finished the song off, and then we let Dark Side hear it. He liked it, and collectively we made adjustments, and you know, the song is what it is today.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love the songs. I listened to it today, and I love the fact that you've got everyone else involved and they're also joining in the song, and you can see all the pictures of everyone and as they're singing along, and it's all about more peace and more love in the world. Yeah. And people are fed up of negativity now. They want to hear more about positivity and the positive things that are happening in the world. And there's so many positive things that are happening in the world. People want to have more hope of things to look forward to, that the world is changing, people are waking up consciously, and that's where music global change really comes into play. And that's our big mission, to bring more positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. We love what you guys are doing. We always love Skyler and his positive music, and now bringing it to the larger community through the world through this show. It's awesome. Yeah. And the beauty of what we were able to accomplish with this song, it's also an award-winning song, which we're very proud of. Is that we brought a community of friends and asked folks to join in with us, and everyone said yes. So it's really unique in that at that time, you know, we're all used to recording together. We're so used to, you know, doing what we do. Our vocals are tight, and we're doing stuff together in one room. But this was done. Kevin Darkside Smith was able to allow folks to record on whatever devices they had, whether it was their phones, their iPads. Some folks had small studios and some folks recorded in studios, but he was able to extract all those voices, instrumentation, and bring all those folks together. So we had over 60 people participate in that song.
Wow.
It was such a community effort. And so we always give credit where credit is due, you know, without them, because it was just going to be Nikita and I. We were just going to record it, just the two of us. And Nikita said, "Oh, it would be so great if we could, you know, do this." And so,
and I think it's beautiful that you did get the, you know, community together, Sakai, and that is again extra special. I think when you actually watch a video and you can see people putting their heart and soul in it, and they're really expressing how they feel, and you really get captivated as you're watching the musical video. And I love where you keep showing the peace and the love in it as well. It is amazing. Congratulations! I'm not surprised it's an award-winning song. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. But we've been band members now for 10 years.
Right.
Almost. We're on just coming up on the birthday of our anniversary.
Wow.
Very soon. Yeah.
So. Also both perform with so many other celebrities as well, including Stevie Wonder, Patty Austin, George Michael, Chaka Khan. Also, Who's Zooming Who, Aretha Franklin. I love that song too. And the vocals of The Bodyguard, which I love that movie, and Whitney Houston also. And he sang also Since a Child.
Yes, I
would like to ask you is, how did it come about with Train?
Well, you want to start, Sakai?
Well, it's such a blessing. In 2007, I auditioned for Pat. Pat went out on his solo tour, and I got the gig. And I got an opportunity to, sing with him every night. We did a duet every night, and I went out with him for 2 months, and we became really good friends. And he also loved my hubby. So when 2000, so Train at that time, Pat went out on his solo career, and then Train got back together. They did the Save Me San Francisco album, right? And he called me to do that with him, and he needed another vocalist. And so, of course, Nikita and I have a history of like 30 years together. We've done a lot of highlights in our career have been done together. She is one of my best friends and my dear sister. So we've been really blessed. But back to Train. So we went in and we recorded with Pat. Nikita and I did background vocals with him. That was in 2009, mind you. So that was 2 years later. The record came out. Hey Soul Sister, Save Me San Francisco. I think we did 4 or 5 records on that particular album. We did recorded backgrounds with him. And in 2012, of course, that record was very successful. In 2012, Train was going on this big tour, and Pat called and he said, Nikita and I,
you gotta add that.
House. He was at my house, and we were, we write together. We do a lot of stuff together. And so she happened to be here, and we were sitting on the couch, and Train was on, and we heard our voices on this song that was playing, right? Clearly we heard our voices. And so, and they were performing, and I said, they need to call us, girl, right? We were talking back and forth.
That's right.
Those kinds of things. And so in 2012, summer tour came up, and he called and said, do you think Kev would mind if you come out with us for the summer? So it was only supposed to be a summer thing. Yeah. And I said, well, let me see if I can make that happen. Of course, he's so supportive. And we have twins, mind you. So they were very little at the time. They were 4.5 at that time, right? Boy. So When I went out with Pat, there were one. And I didn't do another extensive tour like that until this time when they were 4.5. And so he said, sure. And he said, I need another person. I reminded him of Nikita. He's like, absolutely, give her a call. And then what happened, Nikita? You tell,
at that time I was in Southern California at my sister's house, and it was Mother's Day weekend. Sakai calls me and she says, told me Pat wanted to know if I wanted to come on tour, and I'm like, well, yeah, I do. But,
mind you, we had to audition. We still had to audition for the other, band members. Yeah. So right. So the first show was in Las Vegas. That's where we auditioned.
On my birthday, May 16th.
Hey now, hey.
And so,
lovely birthday.
And so, thank you. So while we did the sound check, and it went fantastic, and Jimmy, who was the guitar player for Train, original member, he pulled Sakai and I to the side and asked us if we wanted to go to Singapore, Australia, and Malaysia.
And you guys,
tour.
And you guys said,
the tour started.
And you guys said, okay.
Yes, please.
No, let me tell you, Sakai was like, well, I got students I have to, because she was teaching voice lessons to children, right? But it was
my kids' school. It was my kids' school. So they were expecting me to, come in with my little and perform for them with my guitar player, and I was like, oh my God, I have a concert at my kids' school at that time. Wow. And then Pat was like, okay, Sakai, Australia,
Yeah.
I said, okay.
No brainer.
I make an arrangement. I can make an arrangement for that. But
But the beauty of that, we end up going to, before the tour even started, a little short tour to those different places was going to happen. So we did that. Yes. Of course, we did that. And then, but then I had to call NARDA, right? And I to let them know they asked us, to go on this tour. And no, that was before it was still in the summertime. But we did the tour. We did the tour, but in the midst of the tour, management, I think, pulled us to the side and asked us if we wanted to stay on,
another year,
for another
tour.
Year. Yeah, for another tour to keep it going. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, but I'm supposed to be going to, over to Europe with NARDA. And I was like, oh my God, but it was, still up in the air. Yeah. So while we was on the road, I called NARDA. I went to the side somewhere and I called NARDA and I told him what was going on. And he was excited for me. He said, yeah, go ahead. Gave me his blessing. So that was like a weight off my shoulders, because I didn't want to, because and come to find out that didn't even happen. It didn't happen. It fell through the European tour for him. So it kind of worked out as far as that go. But
10 years.
And so today,
and then
10 years later,
to be band members. Following 2013, we became band members of Train.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh no! I was just going to say I met Narada when he was really young with John McLaughlin.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Friend Ralph, who was then 17.
Yeah.
Playing bass with McLaughlin.
Yeah.
And Ralph and I are still good friends.
Oh, the sweetest. And of course, Narda has been one of our biggest mentors.
Yes, truly,
literally, as a recording artist.
And we still work with him, since we've been with Train, not of recent, but at the beginning of Train, we were still doing shows with him, like his holiday show.
Right.
So we
did the Aretha tribute a couple years ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
The 10 room, when we ran the 10 room with Patrick Allen.
Oh yeah.
He would come and sit in every Monday.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the 10 room. Okay.
Richie and Chaka and John Legend and the Root.
Oh wow. Such a small world, right?
I know, right?
It's
such a connection.
So music for global change, this idea that I've had for a while. And, when I toured with Sly, it tripped me out, because when I was really listening to those songs, I'm Everyday People. I want to take you higher. Those are social conscious songs.
Truly.
Right? He wrote kind of happy songs. So when I go out and speak to students and stuff like that, I tell them about my heroes, which was Marvin Gaye and John Lennon, Bob Marley, Nina Simone, Curtis Mayfield. We did Curtis Mayfield's record, didn't we?
Yes, we did. His very last record. I'm like so honored.
Yeah.
So honored.
I was on that, right? Was I on that?
Yeah, I think you were.
I was on that. Yeah, I was on that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I work with Marvin Gaye and Bob Marley. So.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Man.
So I get two of them.
Yes.
Marvin Gaye was living over here in Europe before.
Unfortunately, we recorded for him. He was not in the best of shape.
Oh, really?
And he didn't know what he wanted. The session went on all night, and we never got paid.
Wow! No. Wow!
But it's Marvin Gaye, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't knock it.
Well, but so I'm encouraging everyone to write social conscious lyrical content. Bless you guys, because you're writing a song for this time right now that we're in, that is healing. That's going to be healing for people, right? So that's social consciousness, right? When I look at Woodstock, you know, that helped stop the Vietnam War. The young people, they were writing lyrics. You know, do you remember all the bands back then? I watched that, and I tell people all the time, you know, Paul was the cute one in the Beatles, right? but it was John Lennon writing some of the biggest hits,
right?
And the Vietnam War affected him so bad that he wrote Imagine, and that's Imagine Peace, right?
Right.
That turned out to be bigger than all the stuff that he ever wrote for the Beatles. And like with Bob Marley, he wrote songs about the struggle, right?
Yes.
Nina Simone, she wrote about the struggle, right?
Marvin, what's going on?
He was going on. That's what I'm saying about Vietnam. His music helped stop the war in Vietnam. And so, and then there's three things that I want to erase from our industry, which is abolish age discrimination. I don't care if your finger's 10 years old or 80 years old. When you hit the key of C, it's still the key of C.
Come on.
Right. I love that. I like that.
Skyler. Yes.
And
so powerful.
And then image. I want to get image out of music, right? Because all of us here are old enough. We were here before computers.
Yes.
So when we was kids, if you heard a song on the radio, you wouldn't have bought the song. You didn't care how they looked.
Exactly.
Right. That's true.
Had nothing to do with image, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so I want to do a big demonstration. And I always wanted to go on Oprah Winfrey's show, because you can't beat the sound of a human being. With the computer, you got to program your thoughts into this machine. And then read it back to yourself. That's not like you guys on stage. If one of the guys in the band say, hey, just sing right now, you didn't go put that in the computer. That came out of your heart. That's instant gratification. So I wanted to do take Kevin's. I've been to your house before, and take Kevin's little studio down there, right? Okay, have him bring everything, bring it on the stage with Oprah Winfrey, right? And then we say, bring a 10-year-old kid up on the stage. Hey, you want to hear some drums? Yeah. And then Kevin programs some drums. Everybody in our audience going, hey, that's cool, you know. And I let that go on for about 3 minutes. I say, turn it off. And then I say, put the light. You know, back in the day, they had those lights. They could just put it on the piano, and that's all you can see, right? So I said, put that light at the door, and then I want a drummer to walk in with his drums, right? And he's struggling to get it down the hall, the aisle, and he brings it up on stage. He takes it out. Now you got that 10-year-old kid sitting there, right? You bring it up on stage, and this guy pulls everything out. Then he takes some drumsticks, and his arms and legs is moving. All this is going on. The same drums is on that computer, right? Because if we keep going the way we're going right now, the kids won't know what the instruments look like. Right? So then I say, hey Kevin, can you program some bass? They program low bass, right? Then I let that go on for 3 minutes. Then I say, okay, put the light at the entrance. And I'm gonna have a bass player walk in, you know what I mean? And come down with that big old amp, struggling, pulls it up on the stage. He starts pulling stuff out, just plugging stuff in, stuff, and then he starts playing the bass. And that 10-year-old kid go, wow, what is that? Right? What is that? Well, I'm gonna do that and build the whole band of Earth, Wind, and Fire around that kid. He'll never want to look at a computer again. Because when you set him in between the drum and the bass amp, that's a different feel under your feet than you clicking a button. See?
Absolutely.
So I want to take all three of those out of the music industry and take racism out of music. Because there might be a little black kid that hears country music for the first time. And he go, ooh, I want to do that. And we thinking to yourself, yeah, but they're not going to let you in. They're not going to let you do country music. They're not going to let you do rock. And it's the same 12 notes from Bach to rock.
Right.
So we got to get racism out of music too. And since
ain't that the truth? Yes.
Since the music industry is starting over, let's abolish all that stuff that discriminates against people, right? And because music is emotion. It's something you feel. I don't care if you go to Berkeley School of Music or whatever, and it doesn't matter. When you break it down, how does it feel?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Very true.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
I heard that.
It's so beautiful too.
Yeah, that's real tough.
Absolutely, and it's such a beautiful, not even a concept. It's something beautiful. It's doable. Something to bring to life, and we need it.
Yes.
Simple as that.
The world needs it, I think, especially now. It's a poignant time this year, 2022, because it is a year of action and manifesting things, and the year of change and possibilities as well. So it's definitely the right time, I think, globally, and the people are definitely ready as well. One thing I would like to ask is, have you got any more plans to write any more social conscious songs yourselves, please?
Absolutely. I think we're always writing. In fact, I don't know if you got a chance to check out the other song. It's called Sleeping with a Rock Star. Now, the title may seem a little deceiving, but it really is about loving yourself. And at the end of the day, you are the rock star, no matter what our journey is, no matter what your love of your careers, whatever those may be. It's not about the literal rock star. It's about the journey and being authentically in your journey, in your skin, in your truth, and loving yourself. Right. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that video, but if you haven't, check it out. Okay. And it's edgy and all get out.
And that's the beauty of music. You can be creative. The title is so deceiving. It's because the first thing you're gonna think, like, what? It's about embracing who you are and owning it. And once you own it, then I'm that rock star. You own it,
and that's how and then you love yourself, and then you can love others as a result of you loving who you are. But Nikita and I write we write social conscious songs, not putting a title on it. Right. But that's how we write. We write empowerment songs. We want we wrote a song called "Beautiful Girls." It's about women taking, or people in general, not just women, just being comfortable and shouting it out to the world. I don't have to conform to what it looks like on Instagram or TV or whatever that looks like in the big picture. And so that's I think we do that without having put a title on it,
without even really trying. It just comes out of us. I feel it's all God sent. Like question mark, is that enough? I think I believe it was truly God sent. I wasn't thinking about writing a song that night. It just came out of me, out of nowhere, and it flowed. It just came, it was so easy, and we wrote it so after I wrote the verse and I think a pre-chorus and a chorus, and then Sakai and I just finished. It just flowed. We just had a song, in a matter of a couple of hours.
Have you ever been sleeping and you start dreaming about a melody, and you have to wake up in the middle of the night? John, you too? Have that ever happened to you?
That's happened to me.
I'm not sure that that's happened to me, but I have been in a position where I have had a phone call from a commercials people.
Yeah.
Saying, yeah, we've got this commercial for tires, and this is what happens, and da 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 da, and we need some music. And I said, oh great, send me the film. And said, no, we're in the dubbing theatre. It goes on air tonight.
Oh my God!
And as soon as I got in the car, they told me what the story was in the commercial. I wrote the music.
Wow.
And it was for Goodyear tires. By the time I got to the studio, it was done. It ran for 12 years.
Oh
wow. That's
as their main theme. And I wrote it in the car, driving along.
I love it.
It's better than asleep, because when you're asleep, you write yesterday.
Yeah, I wake up in the
you wake up and you think, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
When it's spontaneous as well, like you say, when you was driving the car and then you wrote it, and same with you as well, Sakai, like you said, it was heaven sent, and you had two verses, well, the verse coming through and then also the chorus as well. And I find when it's spontaneous, it just happens naturally. You don't have to force it to happen.
That's right.
Those people seem to sort of channel through, don't they, consciously?
I mean, in the whole period as well, you see, I don't usually write at the piano anyway. I write at a desk with score paper, or now I use a computer, I have to confess. But that particular piece, I'd phoned the guy who plays my synth for me, and until he played it, it had never been actually performed except in my head. So the melody came out of my head. It didn't come out of me playing notes on the keyboard or anything. And it was there. It was fully formed. It was extraordinary.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
It happens that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful when they I mean, it's divine. I sometimes I was like, okay, I know that wasn't me. When it all comes together, the piano, and it all downloads lyrically and melodically and all of it, I was like, okay, thank you, God, because I know I give credit, and it's so beautiful. Yes, those moments when a melody is in your dream and you wake up and you got to record it. You get up to record.
That's right.
Those are aha moments sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not what you really think they are.
That's what I mean, yeah.
But sometimes they are, and so, yeah, you're right. Sometimes they're like, okay, oh, wow, okay. I think it's just the creative energy that's in us, right? And so as we dream, that's who we are. That's what
also your purpose as well, because it's all part of your divine soul's purpose. The path that you've sort of chosen and walking down, it's divinely orchestrated in order to make a difference in the world. And all of you are making a phenomenal difference to the world. And, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for the amazing, phenomenal work that you do. And thank you all so much.
This is
thank you.
And you can give back. It doesn't take money to give back, right? I came up with this concept that we use at Music for Global Change, where when we start doing our festivals, we're going to ask people. Now, wait a minute, hold on. Let me ask both of you guys. How many shoes you got in your closet?
Well, I got quite a few. My husband would probably say,
do you
quite a few.
To get rid of some of those shoes.
Okay, that's my point. Okay, so what we're going to do is ask people to bring a pair of shoes, and we're going to give you $10 off the ticket to get into the concert. We're going to send those shoes to everyone who wants a pair of shoes that can't afford it.
Oh, awesome. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then my other thing is we're going to get in touch with all the Rotary clubs, right? Where old people are. And Harriet still has Harry's saxophone sitting in the closet. And Harry's been gone about 10 years, right? So I'm going to go to Harriet. I'm saying, Harriet, would you give us that instrument to give to a single parent mom or father who can't afford the instrument? And that's a dream of that kid. So these are things we can do for each other, right? And it don't take no money to do that.
Yeah, I love that, Skyler. I love it.
Or come and bring a can of food or anything like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many ways we can help each other from our gift, what we're doing with music. And we just gotta, it's a mindset. Listen, I love you guys so much.
Can we just put a shout out to our website so folks can find us and find new music and check out our YouTube channel and all that good stuff. It's just lesfemmefatales.net. That's LESFEMMESFATALES.net. And there you can find all our social media channels and everything. And we just appreciate y'all. And
namaste.
Namaste.
Save the world.